Want to turn audio into text easily in your iOS apps? Let me show you how with Swift and SwiftUI step by step. This is the tutorial we will create, and this is the audio file we'll be using. I'll play the audio file right now. Thank you for joining us. If you found this tutorial helpful, please comment, like and subscribe. See you next week. That is the text that we'll be extracting from the audio file. As you can see here, I will demo it by clicking on the Start Transcription button. Now it's processing the text, it's extracting the text from the audio, and this is the text that's being extracted from the audio. So this is the functionality we'll be creating in this tutorial. The first thing we will do is to add a new function to our content view. The name of the function is called Start Transcript, and the purpose of that function is to enable the text from the audio file to be extracted. We also need to add some imports, so let's add the imports first. Import speech, import AV foundation, func start transcription, sync. The next thing we need to do is to create a new variable called audio file URL, and then we extract the audio file from our bundle for resource. The name of the audio file is called audio. The extension that we're working with is MP3. The next thing we need to do is to convert the file to a new file name. So we need to type the following: converted file URL equals file manager default temporary directory appending path component. And then the name of the temporary file will be called converted M4A as a file extension. And then each time when the application loads, we need to remove the converted file. So that there's no conflicts when trying to convert the file each time. So we remove the old converted file. But now we need to create a new method called remove file, so that the original converted file can be deleted. Function remove file at URL. Let file manager equals file manager dot default. And now that we've created our file manager object, we can interact with the system. If file manager dot file exists, URL path. So it checks to see if the file exists, which is the converted .m4a file. If it exists, then we create a do catch block, try file manager, remove, and then we remove the file at the given URL. And then we attempt to capture any errors that might happen. Error removing file. Error.localize description. Now I just compile it. So now we need to return to line 23. And then to indicate that the transcription has been processed, we need to set a Boolean variable. So we need to create a Boolean variable called it's processing. And we do this anywhere after lines 12. At state private var is processing equals false. And we also need another at state variable to handle the progression of our progress bar. Private var progress double equals 0.0. And now we can set is processing to true. And the progress is equal to 0.0. And then now we need to add another do block. And what we need to do now is to convert the MP3 audio file to an to an M4A file. So we need to create another function. but I just put a comment here for later. Try await, convert MP3 to M4A. So that will be done later. And then, or to make it easier, I'll just create the empty functions now. So I'll create the convert MP3 to M4A function. I'll do it right now. And then implement them later. So after lines 52, add the following function. Function convert MP3 to M4A. And this function will accept a URL, input URL, data type is URL, and an output. URL, and the data type will be URL, and then it could throw errors. And now I'll go back to lines 35 and then pass the relevant parameters. Convert MP3 to M4A. So we pass the audio file URL and the converted file URL. And we also need to create another function that's called simulate progress increment. And the purpose of that function is to simulate or show the progress of the extraction of the text from the audio file. So we show the progress within a progress bar. So now let's just create that function, the empty function, which is func simulate progress increment, and we will implement that function later. So let's go back to lines 35. After line 35, let's call the simulate progress increment function. We also need to add a transcription result at state variable. The purpose of this variable, we need to add it at the top, is to capture the results of the transcription when it's been extracted, when the words have been extracted from the audio file. Transcription result, which is a string, and it's an optional. After line 38, enter the following: if let transcription. So we just check to make sure that the transcription isn't nil. It contains a value. Doing safe unwrapping. But we need to create another function that's called transcribe audio. So let's create another function. Function transcribe audio, transcribe audio file, which will accept a file URL which will be asynchronous. And returns a string, which can be optional. So I'll just enter return here, just to return something. And then now we have to return back to line 40 and then continue with our safe unwrapping. Just copy the function. That should be a file. And then I just pass the converted file URL to the transcribe audio file function. And then we just capture the results of the transcription, which is the text extraction from the audio file. But if an error happened or it cannot be transcribed, then we display a little message. So the transcription results will be failed to transcribe audio. And then we capture any errors using the catch block. Error error.localize description is processing is false, as we are no longer processing. The transcription has finished. So because the transcription has finished, we set the progress to 100% for the progress bar. I'll just compile it now. So it's compiled. In next week's tutorial, we will complete the implementation for the function convert MP3 to M4A. Thank you for joining us. If you found this tutorial helpful, please comment, like and subscribe. See you next week.